You listen to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.
Hello.
Hello.
Is that Les?
It is indeed.
Hello, Les. Jason Dale here at 6Towns Radio.
How you doing, Jason?
I'm very, very well. How are you, Les?
I'm good. Very good.
Good. Thanks for taking the time to chat with us today.
Not a problem. It's my pleasure to help promote the concerts.
And,
my pleasure.
Okay, and you're performing, you're on tour at the moment with the Bay City Rollers, aren't you?
The Bay City Rollers, starring Les McKeown, are on tour, yes.
When does it start, sorry?
It's going to start on the 12th of September, and it'll run through till the 12th, the 7th of December.
December, wow. And I know you're coming local to us at Crewe, at the Lyceum Theatre on September the 24th.
That's right.
What's it like to be back on the road, Les?
It's great. We've been doing this for the last 3-4 years now.
Yeah.
We've had a 50-day September starting tour sort of thing. And it's getting more and more popular as we do it. This year, in the summertime, we did a big arena tour with David Essex, the Osmonds, Wadi, and that was a big success.
Yeah.
And I think that people want to see us again, so they're booking tickets to come and see us in the theatres.
Brilliant. Who's on tour with you this time?
It's just the basic role starring Les McKeown, unfortunately.
Right, that's brilliant. I know people who went to the tour last year with Essex and Shawadi Wadi and had a fantastic time, but I know you've still got a massive fan base with the Rollers.
Yes, definitely. There's that.
Do you find you're getting a younger crowd as well that come along with the original fans from the 70s?
We do, yeah. We get people's kids come along. Well, they're not kids anymore, but and husbands come along and their friends that come along and to see the legend as the Basic Rollers and hear the songs that was the soundtrack to their youth.
Yeah.
They all enjoy tripping back with Les to the 70s.
Fantastic. Now, I grew up in the 70s, and I remember the Rollers in Rollermania, and my older brother had the tartan trousers, and I had a few of the cast-offs afterwards when they were slightly going out of fashion, so you can imagine that, can't you?
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
Well, it was a great time, and I remember the Rollers being absolutely massive, and it was all obviously, pre-punk and everything, but it was all part of... Would you say you were a glam rock band?
They find it hard to pigeonhole the Bay City Rollers because the glam rock was very glam, but we were very kind of down-to-earth, boy next door tartan type of things.
Yeah.
We were tartan glam.
So you're more of a pop band, would you say, rather than glam rock? Would you? Like
yes,
Slade?
I would say so. Yeah.
But it was fantastic.
Yeah. Slade was one of my favourite bands. I mean, we nicked the way they wore their trousers. In fact, they were responsible for our trousers being so short. Because if you remember the Slade image, they used to roll their Levi jeans up and have their big Dr. Martin boots on.
Right,
so we kind of copied that a little bit and put the tartan on the side, and it became a worldwide smash.
Brilliant. Without further ado, let's go straight into one of the biggest hits just to get this interview rolling. Can you just introduce one of these for me, please, Les? We'll play any you like.
Hi, ladies and gentlemen, listening to this radio. This is Les McKeown from the Bay City Rollers, and you're listening to Shang-a-Lang, a huge hit from the 70s. One of the original hits.
You listen to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.
And that was Shang-a-Lang from the Bay City Rollers. The hits kept on coming, Les. Before we go back into the rest of the career, can we just talk a little bit about yourself and your background? Did you come from a musical or showbiz background, Les?
I would say I came from a musical background. My mum was very musical. She was a singer in the Belfast Girls Choir and the Belfast Women's Choir. And she moved to Edinburgh with my father. And she was always singing. I was the youngest of 4 brothers. And so I was a little bit hanging around my mum a lot and heard her singing. And I just that was fantastic. And I picked up the habit. And I started to sing. And people often commented that I had a good voice. And one thing led to another. I became the singing paper boy on my paper rounds. I became the singing milk boy on my milk rounds. And people used to say, you should be a singer in a rock band. And of course, I got that into my head and decided that's what I was
going to do. Going back to being, singing on your paper round, would that have been in the 60s or mid-60s?
That would be, 69,
Right,
70,
so you're a little too
71.
young to catch Beatlemania, because you were dubbed as the new Beatles, weren't you, in the 70s?
We had a similar fan reaction to Beatlemania, and that's why they invented
Right, how did you feel
Beatlemania.
about that? I mean, you were only a young lad yourself, and to have that kind of title.
Oh, we were over the moon. Imagine being compared to a band like the Beatles. It's fantastic, unbelievable. I really wish there was a couple of guys like John Lennon and Paul McCartney in the Bay City Rollers. That would have been great.
But, unlike a lot of boy bands of today, you actually played live instruments, didn't you?
That's right. We weren't so good at doing the choreographed dancing, but we did play our own
in
instrument.
that effect, you were a real band who played drums, guitars, bass, and exactly the same as Slade, really.
Yeah, we were a light version of Slade, I suppose.
Yeah, fantastic. And
I loved Slade. I loved that Noddy Holder, the way he was singing, and he always gave it a lot of passion. In fact, all the bands back then, T-Rex, the whole lot of them, they always put over 100%, commitment to the songs and to the performance. And I remember watching them on Top of the Pops and saying, "That's what I'm going to do one of these days," and it turns out my dream did come true.
It really did. I mean, if anybody, just go on YouTube and watch some of the original Top of the Pops or some of the, the concerts, it really was wild, wasn't it? I suppose, I'm probably same for David Essex, but, I mean, what's it like now on tour? Do you still get the girls screaming? Do they still make that kind of noise?
Yeah, they do. Eventually, there will be a scream to be heard at our concert, but nothing like what it was in the past. Which is actually a good thing, because people can listen to the performance of the band and how good we all are at doing our stuff now. In the past, they couldn't even hear the band, but now of course, we've got to be very good. They can listen to every note.
I mean, that's exactly the same as Beatlemania. Nobody could hear what was going on with the Beatles at that point, could they, with the screaming?
Yeah, no. Unbelievable.
You've experienced it firsthand. So after Shangalang, I remember Bye Bye Baby. When did that come in your career?
Bye Bye Baby was the middle of 1975. It was we had two number ones in the summer of 75. It was the Bay City Rollers' golden year in the UK. The whole country was wearing roller strollers. Tara was everywhere. In fact, you would have thought that Scotland had overtaken the whole country. Everybody was dressed up in that fashion, and that was the fashion of the day.
Including me. I was 5 in that year, so I was only a little teeny bopper, but I remember it well. And I can remember the sound of Bye Bye Baby. Everybody was singing it. Shall we play it now, Les?
Yeah, can we? I'll introduce it if you don't mind. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is, the Bay City Rollers. The Bay City Rollers singing Bye Bye Baby.
You listen to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.
Fantastic. I almost ran to the cupboard and got my old tartan flares out there, Les.
Great.
But it's a great fun music, isn't it? And all of that period, it was there was a lot of great sing-alongs in the charts, and I remember it being a beautiful summer, 75, 76. It was a great time, wasn't it?
It was fantastic. I remember it so vividly. Coming up in the country in our cars, going to different gigs and passing through towns and watching teenagers hanging about with each other, wearing the kind of clothes that we wore on stage. It was great.
I can imagine. It must have been fantastic. So did you tour the world? What countries did you go to when Rollermania was at its height?
Japan, Australia. We had a number one in America, Canada. We never went anywhere in the Far East, the African kind of South Africa that there was a apartheid was on. France wasn't a very good market for us because they had this kind of radio thing where they only played French music.
Right.
There was a fascist government in Spain, so we weren't allowed to go there. But normal European states like your Finland, Sweden, Germany, Austria, Switzerland, all that stuff, we were all over there every other day.
Right.
Not forgetting, of course, the UK we had commitments to do here, and then we'd be flying over to Australia to do a tour or a TV presentation. Yeah. It was crazy. We were flying. I think we flew around the world about 80 times.
I beg, just missed the last part there, Les. Sorry.
I'm saying. I think we flew around the world about 80 times.
Wow, Craigie, that's a lot of touring, isn't it?
And that was first class.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
I wish I still had my points.
Okay, and that's all the touring. So after Shangalang, Bye Bye Baby was another massive hit. Then there was Give a Little Love, wasn't there?
Oh yeah, Give a Little Love. What a great song, and that is a favourite of the fans when we do that. They all sing along to that. Let's have a listen to Give a Little Love by the Bases or Rollers.
You listen to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.
Yeah, Give a Little Love. Thanks for that, Les. And thanks for the introduction. Okay, so what year was that? Coming towards the end of the 70s, or just after? Was it 76 around that time?
No, Give a Little Love was the single immediately following Bye Bye Baby.
Right, that was the one straight after.
Yeah, both of them were each number one.
Right, I mean, what was it like in those days competing with bands like, I remember another great big act at the time, the Wombles. They were massive, weren't they?
Well, the Wombles were a stiff competition because they also were very good to Wimbledon Common, where they would go out and pick up all the trash there. So they had that PR going for them.
Didn't they wear a little bit of tartan as well? Did they steal that from you? Or was that to
I think they did,
Was that to confuse the market?
Yeah, I think they must have found that in Wimbledon Common and put it on, stuck it on them. The Wombles of Wimbledon Common.
Brilliant. But it must have been some kind of competition, competing with, especially when they got the litter picking gimmick going for them as well.
Yeah, that was a great time. I remember. I feel sorry for the guys who must have been inside those costumes. It must have been very hot.
I know one of the guys, you know. He's the drummer, Clem Clatini. Did you ever work with Clem?
Clem Clatini?
Yeah.
He was a Womble. You're joking, because he played the drums on Shang-a-Lang.
I'm not surprised. He's played on more number ones than any other drummer in history. But he was a Womble, and he enjoyed it that much. Did he played on Shang-a-Lang, did he, Clem?
Yeah, he's responsible for the sound of the Basic Rollers' first 4 records.
Wow.
Remember Shang-a-Lang, Summer Love Sensation, and All of Me Loves All of You.
Isn't that a coincidence?
I was the only roller on it. It's just me and people like Clem Catini and other session guys.
Yeah, well, it was Clem who, you probably know Clem's history better than I do, but I know he's had something like 55 number one credits to his name with drums going back from the Kinks to even earlier, Johnny Kidd and the Pirates, Shaking All Over. Obviously then to people like yourself, Basie to Rollers, and he was definitely a Womble. I think when the Wombles did the reunion, I don't know if Clem did the Glastonbury a few years ago, but he really wanted to because it was great times for him, like you said, but nobody ever recognised him. He was in the outfit, you see.
Right. What was he, Uncle Bulgaria?
Was he what, sorry?
Which one Womble was he? Was he Uncle Bulgaria?
Probably. He's one of the older guys, but as you know, he's a great character. There is a website, and you'll be listed on there, whatever he played on with you, and it is online. If you just check it out, Clem Caccini, Bay City Rollers.
I will.
But that's brilliant. It's interesting stuff. So I've just gone off the track a little there. Sorry about that. So...
well, that was my fault by telling you he was the drummer on China.
Yeah, that threw me. I thought I was giving you some info.
Let's get back on track.
It's very interesting, though, isn't it? So, we're up towards the... so, you're on tour now. How many dates did you say you're doing, Les?
We're at 52 dates in all between now and December. So,
yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Sorry, I'll snap that bit out. Did you ever have a Christmas hit? Are you going straight up through to Christmas on this tour, Les?
You know, we stopped just short of Christmas, and there is talk of a Christmas song coming out.
Right.
We're hoping to get that finished. It'll be quite a competition, I'm sure.
Right.
Because it seems to be organised every year that for certain TV show has a Christmas hit.
Right, brilliant. So I'm just going to mention again, you're playing local to 6Towns Radio. What are your memories of Stoke back in the 70s, Les? Do you remember Stoke-on-Trent? Did you ever do the Victoria Hall?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, we played there a lot. I mean, we had a big following up in the Midlands and all that kind of... I think the Basic Rollers were most popular in real working class areas,
right.
And it's because the working class really identified with us because we were from the same class,
right,
you know what I mean? And
we
were the boys next door who made good, and it was complete pandemonium. I can't even say pandemonium up there in Stoke. It really was great memories.
Lovely. And I'm sure we're going to get a few of the old fans and new fans and make some, fans in the future with this new tour. I know you're coming to the Lyceum, which is near to Stoke, but that's in Crewe on Wednesday, September the 24th.
Right.
Can you do me a big favour, Les, before we finish?
Sure.
Could you do a jingle for me for my show at 6Towns Radio if I tell you what we need?
Sure.
Could you say, you're listening to, this is Les, from Les McKeown.
6Towns Radio.
Jason Dale at 6Towns Radio, please, Les.
Jason Dale at 6Towns Radio.
Thank you, yeah.
Hi, this is Les McKeown from the Bay City Rollers, and you're listening to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.
Absolutely fantastic. Would you mind doing a generic one for our director here
Sure.
at 6Towns, just for 6Towns Radio, please?
Sure.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Les McKeown from the Bay City Rollers, and you're listening to 6Towns Radio.
That's fantastic. Les, before we really finish, can you tell our listeners how to find out more about the Rollers online or any social media?
Sure, you can. Your listeners can find out more about the Bay City Rollers starring Les McKeown tour, which is this year, of course, 2014. You can go to lesmckeown.com. That's McKeown, McKeown.com. You can look on Facebook for Bay City Rollers starring Les McKeown or Bay City Rollers 2014. Or even type into Google Bay City Rollers on Tour 2014, and that will direct you to my website. And all the gigs are there, and you can click on the Ticketmasters and all that kind of stuff.
Absolutely fantastic. Les, have a fantastic date at Crewe on Wednesday, September 24th at the Lyceum. And thanks for taking the time.
Brilliant. It's going to be a great night, and it was a pleasure talking to you, and good luck to you and all your listeners.
Thank you, Les. Have a great tour 2014. All the best for the tour. Thank you.
Cheers, buddy.
Thank you. Bye-bye now. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Bye.
You listen to Jason Dale on 6Towns Radio.